Bismillah, alhamdulillah, sallallahu sallam wa barak ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Chapter number 28 says, Babu satri awrat al-muslimin wa nahi an isha'atiha li ghayri dururatin. Covering the faults of the Muslims, hiding the mistakes and the slippings or the misdeeds of the Muslimin, and the prohibition of spreading them and exposing them and passing them on to others unless it's a necessity. Two things, something that's obligatory and something that is haram. Something that is disliked and something that's recommended, which is always like a reversal in al-Islam. As the ulama of al-Islam, they say that when Allah commands us to do something, إِنَّ الْأَمْرُ بِالشَّيْءِ نَهْيٌ عَنْ ضِدِّهِ وَالنَّهْيَ عَنِ الشَّيْءِ أَمْرٌ بِضِدِّهِ. Is that when Allah commands us to do something, He's often he's prohibiting us from doing the opposite. And when Allah prohibits us from something, He's commanding us to do its opposite. So it's not just don't do that, khalas. Stay away from that. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ إِلَّا عَلَى أَزْوَاجِهِمْ. For example, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا. Don't go to zina. نِسَاؤُكُمْ حَرْثٌ لَكُمْ فَأْتُوا حَرْثَ. Allah says, go to your harth, what? أَنَّا شِئْتُمْ. مثلا. Allah says, فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. Don't tell them the lightest of, or the slightest of disrespect, and do the opposite. Whether it's mentioned في ضمن النصوص أم بدون. أحيانا يكون الأمر والنهي واردين في النص الواحد، وأحيانا يكون بالشيء الواحد فقط. إن الله يحب المقسطين وكذلك يبغض أصحاب الجور والظلم. So Allah Azza wa Jalla tells us to do something, meaning it's a prohibition of the opposite. Naam, a prohibition of the what? Of the opposite. Or when Allah talks about Himself, that Allah doesn't sleep, or Allah doesn't become overtaken by slumber, or there's no weakness. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. That isn't just negation. ليس هناك نفي مطلق، لأن ليس هناك كمال، وإنما هذا الشيء المنفي يثبت أو يثبت به ضده من الكمال. Allah doesn't sleep because of His perfect life, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah doesn't become weak because of His perfect strength, azza wa jal. And it's not just to just negate and that's it. So the wisdom of the Sharia is tremendous. So the command to do something is the prohibition of the opposite. The prohibition of doing something is the command to do the opposite. Sometimes it's mentioned together, and sometimes one of the two is just what? Mentioned. So in the chapter heading it says, the obligation, he says here, ستر عورات المسلمين يعني باب الأمر بستر عورات المسلمين. The obligation of covering the faults of the Muslims. والنهي عن إشاعتها. And the prohibition of spreading the faults of the Muslims, the misdeeds of the Muslims, the mistakes of the Muslims. لغير ضرورة. If there isn't a necessity. Meaning that if it is a necessity, then it's not haram. It could be obligatory. Someone comes to you asking your advice, regarding a brother who's seeking their daughter's hand in marriage. And they trust you and they confide in you. I want to marry my daughter to brother Kamal, mathalan, or Jamal, or Abdurrahman, whatever his name may be. And you know for sure that brother Kamal or brother Jamal or Hassan or Abdurrahman, you know, for example, he has a serious issue, a serious anger problem. You've been places with him. You've seen him snap on people and just go crazy out in the middle of nowhere. And he asks you for sincere advice. You think he's a good brother? I think he's a good candidate for my daughter. She likes him a lot. What do you think? That's a mistake. That's a shortcoming that he has, a flaw, a character flaw. He can't help it. He tries, but it's hard. In this case, it may not be permissible for you to keep silent. It may be obligatory for you to say, I believe he's a good brother, kada, walakin. However, so on and so forth. You have to pick, you have to choose. That's what I know about him. Or business deal. Someone's a thief or a crook. You know that. He's a thief. You know he's well known to be a crook. And someone comes to you and asks you a question and you don't say nothing. You don't warn them. You don't give him advice. That's a different story. Or someone is doing something and it's becoming advice. It's spreading among the Muslims. But that's even different. Because if someone is doing a sin publicly, it's not the same. It's not the what? Same, someone doing something public. المجاهر بالفسق هذا له أحكام أخرى في الغيبة والتحذير والهجر. هذه أحكام غير. نتكلم عن العيب، كشف العيب ونشرها. عرفت كيف؟ أنا طلعت في بيت يعني بيت فلان وشفت كذا، في فرق. ويختلط هذا على كثير من أصحاب السوشيال ميديا والدعاة وعلى بعض غيرهم كذلك. عرفت؟ Many people become confused. Looking for a mistake is not like finding a mistake or a mistake that's open in public. Searching for it and looking for it. Trying to look for somebody's sins. Or going to someone's house and searching for something that's wrong. It's not the same. It's a huge difference. And even if something comes out to you, it doesn't mean that you have to spread it if there isn't a necessity. Keep silent. And one of the greatest wisdoms of this, is that it's like violence. It's like killing. Once you kill one person, you take someone's life unjustly, what's the difference between someone else's blood? What's the difference? And then you take revenge. And then he kills. And then next thing you know, everyone's killing each other. This is what happens when it comes to awrat. I expose your sin to somebody, then the next person, then it's me, then next, everyone hates each other. And everyone looks down upon each other. And everyone knows the sins and mistakes because of gossip of each other. I mean, social media today, Facebook, this and that, Allah musta'an. And this is exactly what has happened to many of our communities and our households. From the first person not observing the rule. قال الله تعالى إن الذين تحبون أن تشيع الفاحشة في الذين آمنوا لهم عذاب أليم في الدنيا والآخرة. Allah says in Surah An-Nur, those who love for fahisha to be spread among those who believe will have a painful punishment in this life and in thereafter. Those who love for these sins and this nastiness and ugliness to be widespread among the people. Now, oftentimes, many of us, we use the Quran when it's convenient for us. When it's about me and my sins and my mistakes, what I do with women and how I treat women, you hear this ayah being quoted. When it's about somebody that I don't like or someone that I'm not cool with, then it's what? Refute, clarify. وهكذا. This is one of the biggest problems that we have today, is using the Quran when it's convenient and neglecting the Quran when it isn't convenient. So Allah says, "Inna الَّذِينَ," those who love for the fahisha to be spread, regardless of who it is. He then says, وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يستر عبد عبدا في الدنيا إلا ستره الله يوم القيامة رواه مسلم. Abu Hurairah narrated the Prophet ﷺ said, no slave will hide the fault of another Muslim slave except that Allah will hide his faults on the day of judgment. And this hadith is in Sahih Muslim. Just like we said, from the wisdoms and the fruits and the rewards of this is that you, with your own sins, will be protected from being exposed. Think about that. How do you like to be treated by Allah? That's how you should treat the other people. You like for Allah to be kind with you and merciful and to hide your faults, then that's how you should behave with your what? With your brother. Unless it is a necessity. Unless it's a necessity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.